Hi, welcome back to Half of Heidi, or welcome to the channel if this is the first time you've dropped by. I'm sorry I haven't recorded a video for a couple of weeks. I had a revision surgery from sleeve to bypass 2 weeks ago, and the recovery was absolutely just so much harder than I was expecting. I just couldn't bring myself to make a video, so I apologize about that, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit. I wanted to start off with my stats as per usual. So my highest weight this time around, I'm not going to keep repeating my true highest weight from before I had the sleeve. Let's just go with this surgery. So my highest weight was 121.9 kilograms or 268.7 pounds. I did a 2.5 week pre-op diet. And on the day of surgery, I weighed 115.3 kilograms or 254.2 pounds, which means in the pre-op phase, I lost 6.6 kilos or 14.5 pounds. And I was really thrilled with that because I genuinely thought I wouldn't lose, more than 5 kilos or 11 pounds. I just thought that would be enough. That'd be great. So I was pretty thrilled with that. So yeah, I had the surgery. I'm now 2 weeks post-op and I weigh 110.6 kilograms or 243.8 pounds, which means in the last 2 weeks I've lost 4.7 kilograms or 10.4 pounds, which brings my total loss to 11.3 kilograms or 24.9 pounds. So I'm really happy with that progress. I think in 4.5 weeks to have lost that much, I'm really happy. I'm pretty sure when I had the sleeve, I consistently lost maybe 10 kilos every month. 8, 10 kilos, maybe 20 pounds. So I don't know what to expect this time around. Obviously, it's a different surgery, so I don't know what to expect. Like this time around in the 2 weeks since the operation, in the first week post-op, I actually only lost, I think it was 0.3, was it 0.3? Yeah, 0.3 of a kilo, which is 0.7 of a pound. I was so I feel like I was just so swollen and my body was just in so much shock. It was just so different to having the sleeve when I lost like 5 kilos or 10 pounds in the first week. This time around, my body just, I think, was in shock and didn't know what the hell was going on. And it actually took me maybe 3 or 4 days to sort of sort my shit out and actually be drinking protein water and then being able to move on to the free fluids so I could have soup that I added flavorless protein powder to. So I think once I started eating more protein and drinking fluids, I think my body, took that first week to kind of recover, and then it actually lost the majority of the weight in the next week, which was 4.4 kilos or 9.7 pounds. I think I lost so much more in the second week because I just finally, my body just finally got moving again. I don't know. It was just, the surgery just, the procedure was fine, right? You're not awake for it. When I came out from the procedure, I felt very similar to after I'd had the sleeve. I felt just really groggy, had blurry vision from the anesthetic, and I was mostly just sleepy. And I had one of those pain relief that you can press the button yourself to give yourself the pain relief. So that was really good. I had 2 drains. I had a nasal drain from my stomach, and then I had a drain in my left side, just right under my ribs. And oh my gosh, it was digging into like my diaphragm or something, and it was not fun. So I had the 2 drains. Now I think wasn't mentally prepared for either of those two things. I think I assumed I might have a drain on my body, but I wasn't mentally prepared for the nasal drain. I think I just didn't either do enough research beforehand, or my surgeon hadn't prepped me very well, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And then, so then the next day, still in hospital, went down for the barium swallow test, and that was just as unpleasant as it was the first time with the sleeve. It doesn't taste fantastic, and I was just already feeling so nauseous. So trying to have to swallow what was quite a fair amount of liquid. It wasn't good. I had to ask for some ondansetron, I'll say it correctly, anti-nausea medication, because I just felt so crook. Anyway, the results from that came back and that was all fine, no leaks or anything like that. So they decided to unplug all my machines basically, and which was a shame. I meant they were taking away my beloved pain reliever on demand button, and they also took out the nasal drain. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt at all. It was just very strange sensation to have something that long being pulled out of your nose. Like it's and you're like, you have to hold your breath, and it just was unpleasant. And then I just was in a lot of pain, a lot more pain, I think, than when I had the gastric sleeve. Because when I had the gastric sleeve, I was able to get up and walk around and do like laps of the ward on the second day. Whereas on the second day, the best I could do was a couple of little like short laps of my room. I was too scared to walk too far from my room in fear as I couldn't get back again. And just like last time, I ended up getting my period. So that's two gastric surgeries I've had where I've ended up having the world's heaviest period at the same time. And the nurse said to me, it's actually really common. It's like your body goes into shock and for some reason you just get the world's heaviest period. So that didn't make it any more fun. So most of the rest of the time I spent feeling nauseous, in a lot of pain, counting down until I could take the next pain medication. And even the next morning, so the third day, when they came to take the drain out on the side, I'll tell you about that. I was just so thinking, I don't know how I'm going to go home. Like I was due to go home in a couple of hours, but I just felt just so awful. I now know why, and part of that is because I was drinking water, but I wasn't drinking water with added protein in it. I wasn't drinking Sustagen or any of the other protein waters that they had there. Like I would sip some of them, but they were so sweet, I just couldn't get through them. So I really highly recommend to anybody in the future, drink the Sustagen. Definitely drink the Sustagen. It's tolerable. It's strong, but it's tolerable. But also take in your flavored protein powder into the hospital and add it to the water there. You really need the protein pretty immediately. And I made that mistake, unfortunately, thinking that I'd be able to just get through what they had, but I just couldn't stomach what they had. Anyway, so about the drain coming out. Now, the only time it hurt was when she was cutting the stitches that were holding the drain in place. That was the only time it hurt. It was just, like a tiny, sharp, scratching sort of pain. But the feeling of the drain coming out was the weirdest feeling. Like, it's just, you can't even explain it. It just makes you want to go, oh, like, what's happening to me? Because there's this foreign object that you just shouldn't have in your body just suddenly moving. And I imagine it's what it would be like if you had like a really big worm inside you that just suddenly started moving and wriggling around and you could feel it. Oh, I don't know. It was an experience, I'll put it that way. Anyway, so went home, had to take the really strong painkillers for a good week. Did I take it longer than a week? I feel like I did. I even had to get more prescribed from my GP because I just was in so much pain. And then yesterday I spoke to the surgeon and said, hey, it's 2 weeks post-op and I'm still in a fair amount of pain. It's like lower left side, just below the rib. And he said it's totally normal. It's where the stomach, like the new connection of the stomach to the intestine is, and the two parts will pull away from each other sometimes if you're moving, and it can hurt a bit. He said, give it another 2 weeks and it should be fine. The pain should be gone by then. So I've been just on regular over-the-counter pain medication for maybe 4 or 5 days now. And it's enough if I'm not doing much. But like yesterday I worked a full day sitting at my desk and it really was very uncomfortable. And today I didn't end up working at all because I just couldn't face the pain, I guess. So I have to work again tomorrow. I've got meetings I can't get out of. So I'm kind of gonna suck it up and just deal with it, I guess. Not be a princess. But I really went through some tough times in the last fortnight thinking like pain was that bad that I was like, what have I done to myself? Like this was voluntary torture. Like I could not fathom just the difference in recovery this time compared to the sleeve. Like there's a video of me from after I had the sleeve. I was like a week after I had the sleeve and I was like, I don't even feel like I've had surgery. And I was just so happy and upbeat and pain-free. And this time, 2 weeks later, and I'm just like, oh, I just feel gross. I just feel, I'm in pain. And my incisions are all itchy because they're healing. So I've had a lot of moments of feeling sorry for myself in the last 2 weeks and questioning why the hell I'm doing this. But then, when I look at the weight loss, so 11.3 kilograms, 24.9 pounds, I think that was like 25-ish%. Sorry, I just got to blow my nose. 25% of my weight loss that I wanted to lose. So I'm a quarter of the way there, guys. It's going to be worth it. It's just going to be really hard. The other thing I found different this time around compared to the last time is when I had the sleeve, when I was in the fluid phase, I couldn't like drink much. I could sip and I could get in maybe like the equivalent of an ice cube volume of soup at a time. And maybe by the end of the 2 weeks, it was like 2 ice cubes worth. But this time my restriction is a lot less in that like I was having like a mug full of soup and admittedly it would take me half an hour to get through, but I could still get through it. I can have like, 3 or 4 consecutive sips of water and be fine. So I don't know whether because of the changing shape of my stomach, so not from when it was a sleeve and it was this tiny little skinny thing to now it's more of a pouch, that means I can just get away with having more quickly. I don't know. Just a thought, but I don't mind, I've got to say, because I hate getting dehydrated. I hate that feeling. So it's been good to be able to have, a couple of sips at a time rather than have a sip and sit there waiting desperately until you can have the next one. Anyway, I didn't want to make this video too long, but I've already made it longer than I wanted. So I'll leave it there. I will hopefully be in a great enough physical and mental state to be able to keep recording weekly again. Sorry for missing a couple of weeks there while I just was stuck in bed feeling miserable. Yeah, anyway, so that's all for now. Of course, drop any questions in the comment section, tips and tricks and all that good stuff. Love to hear from you. Hope you're having a great week. Continue to have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.